Okay guys, so for number 16, we have, the question is, what is the appropriate CPT code for the following scenario? So it says, okay, preoperative diagnosis was right knee pain, rule out meniscal tear. The postoperative diagnosis is primary degenerative joint disease, medial compartment, right knee. 2 was degenerative medial meniscus tear, right knee. And then the procedure performed was surgical arthroscopy with medial meniscectomy, right knee. So it's asking, what is the appropriate CPT code for the following? So sometimes it gives us a bunch of information that we don't need. All we need to find is the procedure. So for this one, it's a surgical arthroscopy with medial degenerative, surgical arthroscopy with medial meniscectomy, right knee. So our main term here is arthroscopy, right? Because that's what it is. And our subterm is surgical because they had to surgically do that. So what I would do is I go to my index, look up arthroscopy. So arthroscopy. So I found it on page 914 in your index. And if you can see, it says surgical under the subterms because there's diagnostic and surgical. Okay, so I got it. Now I'm going to find more details into it. So it says ankle, hip, elbow, knee, metacarpal, phalangeal joint, shoulder, subtalar joint, wrist, so on and so forth, right? So we know it is from the knee. So I'll look at knee and I'll look at the references. So it gives me 29866 to 29868 and 29871 to 29889, okay? So let's go to our 29866 and let's start from there. 298, so 298. So on 186, you'll see that. And let's get started and looking through them. So ours is surgical arthroscopy with medial meniscectomy, right knee. So these are arthroscopy knee, diagnostic with synovial biopsy. So just scroll through them and see which one it is. So I'm seeing one that says meniscectomy. So 29880. It says with meniscectomy, including debridement shaving. Okay, so our procedure didn't include shaving, so that's not it, right? 29881 is with meniscectomy, including it could include debridement or shaving of articular cartilage, just like the other one. Same or separate compartments when performed. But look at the difference. 29880, it says and. Okay, so that means they got that and the shaving and debridement. 29881 says or. So just means or they did that as well. So doesn't mean that they did. So 29881 would be my code. If you look at your scenario, it tells you what side it is. It's on the right knee. So that's when we would go to our appendix A and look at those level 2 HCPCS modifiers and pick the right side from here, which is RT. So the correct way to put it is 29881-RT. Okay? That's the correct one for that one, okay? Now let's go 17, okay? 17, you need your HCPCS. So it says, what is the appropriate HCPCS code for the following scenario? The patient presents today because of complaints of discomfort from his right ocular prosthesis. It is relatively new and may need some modification. Upon examination, the patient appeared otherwise generally well. The patient's eye prosthetic was removed and given to the technician for eval. The right eye socket has a very small patch of irritated tissue in the upper medial wall. Okay, so the technician resurfaced and polished the prosthesis. So that's what the technician did. Remember, HCPCS is for the equipment. So what did they do to the equipment? So while I'm reading the question, I'm dissecting the question, and I'm trying to see, what does all of this have to do with the code that I'm supposed to find. So right away I noticed, okay, so the technician resurfaced and polished the prosthesis after refitting. Okay, so that's what the technician did. So that's what I'm gonna end up looking for. Okay, so I'm gonna go and look. If we notice, the patient has prosthesis, right? It means it's prosthetic, right? So that's what I'm gonna look for in my index. So I'm gonna go to my P's and look up prosthetic. So let's see, prosthesis. Okay. Prosthesis. So it's on page 11 of your index. It is in the second column in the bold. In the bottom it says prosthesis and prosthesis. And I'm gonna look up what it is. So it is the patient's eye. Okay, so our subterm would be eye, and then it gives us two references. So it gives us L8610 and then V2623 to V2629. So without completely closing out my index, I'm gonna look up L8610. That's cool. We went straight to the page. L8610. So it says ocular implant. So no, that's not what it was. So page 126. It says L8610. It's ocular implant. That's not what it was. So no. And now I'll look. The next one was V2623 to 29. So that is the purple. So V2623. Oh my gosh, it went straight to it. V2623. So, okay. So it says prosthetic eye plastic custom. So, no, that's not it, right? It doesn't sound like it. So, let's go to our next one. So, V2624 says polishing / resurfacing of ocular prosthesis. That's what it is. Yes. So, our code for that one is V2624. Because that's exactly what the technician did. Remember, she resurfaced and polished it. So that's what it is. So that is that. I'll move on to 18. It says, what is the appropriate CPT code for the following scenarios? Steven was